Tensei na toti mak miste he katata mahina wa koyasi o toti mitotao yak kite yak okamawak itniawak komox kinanasko mitanawao tipiskal pisum wiki muskwa isidikasun. Well, welcome to the beautiful Comox territory here. This is the land that we're on right now, unceded territory. I'm Night Sun Bear. I'm from the Cree Nation of Fort Chipewyan, Alberta. And I do a lot of land-based healing practices and activities with youth and members of the community here, and many different agencies that send me their young people who want to learn cultural things, mostly Cree things, because I'm from Fort Chipewyan, which is Cree and Dene territory. My grandfather is Joe Cardinal of the Cree Nation, and my grandmother is Louisa Touranger of the Dene Nation of Fort Chipewyan. And I've been on the island here almost 30 years, doing a lot of the Cree culture, from drumming, singing, teaching, ceremony, sweat lodge, pipe ceremonies, all those kind of things, those responsibilities we have culturally. But my work is really in taking the young people to the land and connecting with kind of ancient ways of doing things, whether that's survival or archery or fire with no matches and things like that. We use that to really help transform behavior, but also build confidence and identity and empowerment. And today we're going to do that with this young troubled man named Casey here. He's going to, no, just kidding. But do some archery, some basic archery training, just to be teaching about that ancient practice that our cultures, many cultures around the world, had a mastery in. It was called mastery. That we did it for so long and for so many generations that we were so proficient at it. It was way more efficient than even using a gun for the early years of colonization. In a running battle, we couldn't be beat in battle with arrows against guns. But until you got those repeater rifles, this was the tool. Just like many modern things that get changed out and changed out too quickly, you don't get any mastery. Our young people don't have a chance to master something and build that confidence and use that tool as a metaphor for life and things like that. So we try and teach them that with this archery skill, which has great transformation in a very short time. I could take a young person without confidence or without skill in one afternoon, and they will leave here hitting this target. And when they do that, they're ready to do it again next time, and then we're out hunting the 3D targets, and then we're looking at how do we take an animal, how do we take the life of a relative and feed her and go into food security. So this is the first step. So welcome. Looking forward to it. Yeah, so these are our bows. This is really called a recurve bow, recurve bow. Some of these things we call them long bows and stuff if they're just straight bows. And there's compound bows and cross bows. Those are more technical, as in technology in there, so that they're easier to pull, or you can hold the aim longer. And of course the other one is you pull a trigger on it. I don't really use those ones anymore. I used to a little bit, but this is the skill we want, is going as old as we can. So a lot of times we'll even make bows with kids, and they'll have to source the wood out here. Typically we would use wintergreen or arbutus, and that's abundant here. It's got a good source of it here on the island. So, and it could take you years to make that bow by hand because you're busy using your scrapers and everything and carving it. It has to be the right grain. But for this purpose, we have purchased these bows from Canadian Tire, and so these are. So these are easy to get. They're cheap enough to get, and they work fantastic. The bows we're going to use for target shooting they're rated by pound weightage, by how much pull they have. How much pull you have is dependent on what you can do. You can target shoot with it. This bow here says 45 on it. That's 45 pounds. You have to have 45 pounds to hunt. Everything else is for target shooting, because anything over 45, you have to have enough power to kill the animal. You can't just wound them, because that's not humane, right? You want to be able to kill it, so you need a real powerful bow. We might get up to trying that one if you want. Okay. And then and also different arrows. The arrows we're going to use are just target arrows. They just got a little point on them. Where your hunting arrows will have blades on them. They actually have 3 knives on them in a spiral, and they cut right into the animal. And it sounds bloody and sad, but we have to kill the animal as fast as we can, right? So the best thing to do that is to be proficient at the bow first, because you got to be able to look at these targets out here. There's some with little blue dots. That's what we want to get good at. Can I hit that blue dot? Or if anything, can I start to group it? More importantly, can I hit that target at all? Like the styrofoam, that's the first part. Like, oh, I can hear the noise. When I hear that noise, it's like, man, these people they're hitting it. That's good. And you're going to build confidence by moving yourself, getting used to a stance and a way you do it. So just like any teacher, you can do it the way I teach you first. But as you go, you'll sort of develop your own stance in your own way that's comfortable and it works for you, and it'll just be natural. And then when you're in the forest, can't do the same thing as we do here. You got to kneel, or you got to, you know what I mean? So you got to be proficient at it. Okay. So if anything that we do you have to practice. And as we know with anything, some people are gifted with the skill to do something easily, but anyone else can be just as good if they practice. Isn't that amazing that we all have that ability to maybe master something, you know? So, and you can imagine how many people mastered the bow and arrows. But this is string. Sometimes we would use horsehair or something, or sinew. This is a kind of a synthetic store-bought one as well. But the first thing you got to do is learn how to put the string on the bow. Like, the cool thing about this place here is they got this thing here with these two bars hanging out, and that's just for that. That's to put the string on the bow. You got to be able to string your own bow, and that should go down right here. Yep. Yeah, right there in the middle. Yeah, that way we don't any extra stress in one area or another. Yeah, and that's a 25-pound bow, so that's a target shooting bow. You know, so this one here is 45 is going to be way harder to put the string on, Okay. But I'm going to show you another way to put the string on, and I like it better when I got pants and boots on, but typically when you're in the field, this is called the nock, so that has to line up with that where the arrow rests, right? Sometimes if you put it on backwards, the nock will be over here. It won't line up, so then you know you get your string on backwards. But this is the same thing, just like that, right? So that's another way you can do it. I'll let you try and put that on.
How do I do this? Right?
Yeah, so put that ankle. No. That ankle there. The other one in between. Your other leg in between. There you go. And then there you go. You watch your fingers there. Yeah, make sure you. There you go. Make sure this string is on that little line on both sides. It looks good. Yeah, you done it. That's good. You've strung your bow. Fantastic. Okay. And of course, arrows. That's going to be important. But I can get you some tools here. So these are these gloves here. Actually, you see there's double leather on one side. That's actually so you can be doing this for a long time. You're pulling on the string. You're not wearing the skin on your finger. You're getting a blister, right? So I want to check the sizes here. Is it large? I'm going to let you try this one here.
I don't know what hand I'm
Yeah. What hand are you, right or left?
I'm right-handed.
Okay, yeah. So put it on your right hand. Yeah. You can put the bow down for now. Oh. We'll get into safety in a minute because that's going to be real important. So I put it in like this, where my three fingers are where the leather's nice and heavy, because that's the part you can change that out if you wear that out, right? You're gonna be like Robin Hood, or you can be you can pretend you're Katniss Everdeen or Robin Hood today. It don't matter, right?
Might be
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't be too. Just so your fingers are covered. That's all it's more. It doesn't have to be super tight, but it's just so that when you're pulling the string, you're not gonna wear your fingers out. Right. So this here is just an arm guard. I don't use it so much, but if you start going like this and you pull, some people's elbows really go in far like this, so you're really pulling it back. Or even the angle of your string, it'll hit here and it'll damage your skin here. So we put this here just to protect us from that, right? So you can grab that one there. I don't know what these are, I should put that on first because it's easier with your fingers off, so I'll put those on again after. I might have had this adjusted for me or some kid. I had a little kid wearing one of these the other day, so. That's kind of cool thing with all the Hunger Game movies and everything. It really brought archery popular again, you know. Kids just all want to learn it and stuff, so it's kind of neat. That's one thing about Hollywood, It's about $15 to outfit with just this target arrow. You know, so this I got off a guy at the corner of 7-Eleven there the other day, Monday. He was on his bike selling this thing online. I'm like, I'll buy those arrows. And he got brand new arrows for $10 a piece, where it would have cost me about $13 for this, and then I would have had to buy the tips So it's a $15 arrow. So when we break these or we lose these, you know, we wear them out real quick. I mean, it's could going out with a bunch of kids, it could cost me $150 in arrows, right? They're busting everything up. They're not taking good care of them. Same with that. Let's take that off the ground because we want to scratch it up. So, you know, that's your lifeline tool. Imagine in the old days, this is your tool to protect your family, to get your food. You know, so we probably took extended care of these things, right? And imagine the guy who had to make these. These are store-bought. I got some homemade ones at home, but the mastery to make the stick straight out of natural material. So guys would have teethed them and would have like done everything, and there would have been a guy, you know, he was proficient at it, right? And even the arrowheads, who was making those. So each person had to have your own skill to do that, but you might have had a guy who was like, dude, I'm gonna, you know, you're bringing some buffalo meat and he's trading you a few arrowheads, right? Because he's so good at it, right? There was always somebody that was better, you know, better at that stuff. So the safety rules of the range here are really important. You can read them, or I can just tell you basically. There they are, archery rules. Hard to get the sign and think safety. Never knock your arrow, never load up unless you're standing on that red line, right? Is what they're saying when you say knock the arrow. Looking for arrows behind a target, place your bow, quiver, and jacket in front of the target to let others know you are behind the target. So if you're going out there. So there's a thing where they say, range open, which means, okay, we can shoot.
Okay.
Range closed, that means, and I ask people to put their bows down so I know they're done, and they stand behind the yellow line back here somewhere. Then I look and I go, everybody's done, okay? Because sometimes we'll be sharing this with other people we don't know, so someone has to be the range master. So most of the time sideways like this. This is where the aiming's not like this. This is how it is because I'm looking down my arrow like this, right? Yes, I'm looking down my arrow like that. That's the main thing. So I'm looking for my stance. You want to get comfortable in something that feels good and works for you, because you're going to be adjusting it for your aim. Like I'll adjust my body, the top of my body, for depending if I need more distance or I need to move it to the right or left a little bit. Sometimes it's my stance. I'm facing this way too much and the arrow's not hitting right, so I want to kind of move my body right. Yeah. So, but basically, it's kind of like almost directly in line like that. A little bit off is good, just like you're doing. That's good. What feels good. Yeah, that's the most important thing, is getting your stance, getting that comfort, right? So you know what you're doing. So you can even just pretend, you know. And I close my left eye typically, and I look down the arrow, or right eye. You'll have to figure that out. The main thing right now, we'll get into the aiming part in a minute, but this loading is real important. If you look at these arrows, they got two feathers that are the same color. So if this little knock point was put in properly, then this should line up. This is how I load. I take my arrow and I turn it sideways like that, and I take it over. See how I'm holding it like this? Just makes a technique that's easy. And I knock it, and then I put it down there, and it's sitting like that. Notice my two arrows, my two colored feathers are facing this way because it's flat. So when it goes across, it goes flat across here. Less likely to cut, because this will actually cut your finger. So if you hold your finger and cut it, you might cut your finger from the feathers, right? That could happen, right?
Like so.
Yeah, there, now it's on, yeah. So this is great because, and these tips, you hear that rattle? It's because he's loose. So always tighten these on because they're just screwed on, eh?
Right.
And they're just loosened up over time. Yeah. So I use this because it gives me the right aim, like this one's been tested. But if that ever broke off, I just have to adjust how I hold my bow, and then I can use that, right? Okay. But they put these ones on there, and that's okay. That's good because I actually use this on the 3D trail, and my aim was right on the money on that, looking down that point. Yeah, right on the money. I don't know what it is, but I go like this. I point down, and then I pull back. This one's really hard to pull. It's short for me, so it's not going to go back. That one there I can pull, so my thumb hits my cheek. And then once I got my aim, I just open my fingers. Okay. You get your stance sideways. Yeah. Pull back. Look at what you're going to shoot at when you pull it up.
Okay, so that's the thing. How do I aim down the lines?
Okay. Well, what you're going to when you're lifting up, you're pulling at the same time. Okay. So use your finger to hold it on there for now. Use this index finger to hold your arrow on. Not too tight, just to keep it tight against the bow. Okay. Pull back. And watch out, just wait a second. You're going right for your eye. So let's go to the side a little bit here. Let's go to the side. I want you to punch yourself in the eye.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely punch myself.
Yeah, so so still use the finger, so you're using too much hand. Okay. Don't worry about how hard it is to pull right now. Okay. Just going to practice here, right? Okay. Pull it so your hand's going to the side of your face over here.
Oh, and that's like my elbow towards you?
Yeah, put your elbow a little bit high. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Pull it back further if you can. Once you think you got aim, let it go.
Oh, see, I did that.
Yeah, you've got too much finger in there. Okay. It's only the tips where the leather is, right?
Okay.
Just, you know that first little crease in your finger? Kind of like that. There you go. Don't pull your hand. Yeah, there you go. That's actually really good. You were off to the left a bit,
Okay.
right? Okay, that's fine. So you're pulling it hard enough to hit the target, which is good. That's the plan, right?
Okay.
I want the technique that works every time, so I do the same thing all the time, and then pretty soon it's like in your sleep you can load. I don't think about it. Yeah, arrow feathers are the wrong way.
Okay.
Yeah, turn it around. Yeah.
So red on the outside.
Red to the bottom. Yeah, or the bow side. And then I hear your tip. Oh yeah, so always tighten your tips in because they're loosened. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we gotta go. I gotta mentally walk through myself again.
Yeah.
Get the wind down.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't reach in too far. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's good.
And you do what eye? You close left or right?
Right eye close. Yeah.
And you say look down the line of it?
Look at the tip. Look at the tip of your arrow. Yeah, don't look down the line. The tip is what you want. Yeah, see, so you're hitting basically the same spot, right?
Okay.
So you can almost turn your body a little bit. Do it at the same time. I'm just kind of like this. As long as there's no one around me, I'm just going like this. Make sure it's on. Snap in. Show me my finger. I'm holding it in place. I'm loaded, right? Like a gun. I'm kind of loaded. I'm waiting for some action. I'm walking through the forest. Then I pull. I'm looking at my target. I'm going to go for the center of that bag. See my thumb? Because I got long arms.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go up until I see my tip at the part of the target I want. There. It's a little high because my pull is really strong. So imagine going hunting and you can't hit your target. You're just hurting animals. You're not really. That was great. Boom! Almost the center there, right on the money. That was really good. So you're already 3 arrows in. 4th arrow, you're already sort of getting it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm feeling.
You can thank your ancestors.
Okay, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Good. So you put your bow up there.
Okay.
Put it on the rack just because it keeps it in good shape for many years. And then we say range is closed. Let's go get our gear. So I'm going to show you how to take these out because this is a technique too, because otherwise you could hurt yourself or break the arrows. So especially when you're sticking in wood, right? Yeah. It's going to mess with the tips a little bit. So, just be careful of them. You got to start. So what I do is I twist. When we're pulling these out, don't stand here. Ooh! Don't someone behind you. Ooh, right?
Yeah.
And when you're pulling these out, because you could just start getting them in, is you twist them to the right. That way the tip is screwing on. Otherwise you're losing tips. You twist it to the right and pull out, right? So there's your 3. Same with this here. These ones are stuck in there pretty good, but I twist to the right and I give it a little pull. And if these were in real deep, I'd have to, really, so twisting to the right so the tips tighten on and you don't leave it in there. Okay. The wood, I give it a little wiggle. There we go. It wasn't too bad. A lot of times you'll see them stuck in everywhere. And if I use a 45-pound bow, you're just breaking arrows, right? Yeah. So, you can already see there's this meditative metaphor, all that stuff. But for our people, we know that
it is
the ability to use that pull of your own body, and you're connecting to your mind. My mind is saying, I want to hit this target. So you have to connect all these things. This is that this physical and mental and emotional learning that you got to do that. Like this is like development when you're a child, learning to walk, learn to do things, and then pretty soon it becomes normal. Part of our life. It's the same thing with this stuff. But the thing about these arrows is this represents you and your journey. This represents your life. This represents your goals. There's your vision. That's your dream, right? And you got to go through these steps and get good at this thing that you're doing called life. And pretty soon you're going to be able to use your mind's eye, your vision, or your volition, we call it. Anything that you want to do in life, you can do. This is just to show you that you can, right? So this is when you use your volition, that means your own energy and power, and set your sights on a direction and a goal that you can see far ahead of yourself and just start going towards it. You're going to get it every time. That means, in a sense, we're in control of our life then.
Right.
And that's the idea, is to give power back to our people. You have choice, you have power, and you have the choice to decide where you're going and what you're going to do. And if you can hit that target consistently, it's going to become natural for you. Kind of like when you had a goal to do something, and then it was scary because you didn't know it first, but then once you did it, then the next time it gets easier and easier. Same thing, and then you start taking this transference into your life, the challenges of life, right? And it's so awesome because, you know, you can take a kid just like now, you started off a little uncomfortable, not sure. You're already hitting the bag all the time in the same area.
Yeah.
Awesome. Imagine if you can now go for those blue dots over there.
That'd be fun.
That'll be the next thing, right?
Yes.